Yeah, folks, I do move around a lot. And it's not because I don't want to set root in a human community, it's because agreements are constantly broken. So, for example, the last place I was and I signed a contract with the person, within a day or two, they break the agreement. And this is, there's documentation for this, in case there's law enforcement that want to consider evidence or judges that want to consider evidence that's already posted, but it's not in the format that they expect, or it's weird because it's different from the norm. So the judges and law enforcement then become co-defendants in what I can easily provide as evidence as who the good guy and the bad guy is. Even an RCMP can testify about what happened with the last agreement of where I was going to set roots for the winter. Hey, but this is not about failing people primate institutions. It's about love. I wonder if the daughter of Jordan B. Peterson is capable of true love, including loving her own father in the right way. And I say this, she's lovely, and she can make videos where she expresses herself really well. She wears nice clothes. She's beautiful. She talks about undergoing hardships that have affected her body, but with great confidence that is attractive. But you got to remember, I'm a sapiophile, and I have to evaluate by human standards, and I have to evaluate also by how much smarter than the norm people think they are. I mean, superhuman standards. And, with how many viewers. So that means I have to call her on things. Let's say she notices one of my vlogs that talks about her dad or talks about something else, or talks about her in this one. And she says, well, Martin, no, my dad is pretty much right about most things. Well, I would say, well, how certain are you that he's right, and what makes you think he's right, and where does this kind of certainty come from? And I would say, well, are you certain that his mind works as great as, you want to claim, or he wants to claim that it does? Like, he's really an MP right now without being an MP, okay, and an influential one, except that he's supporting what is self-serving a lot. And he doesn't see this. He doesn't see that he doesn't really serve the greater good in the long term because he is compromised by his psychohistory, by his emotions, by his life's crises that he didn't heal from properly with the right supports. And a lot of time counselors don't even seek supports. So he's steering people in the wrong way. And if I explain this to her in a way that would be pretty obvious, but she's still incapable of it, then as a sapiophile, she would become, during this process, more and more unattractive, especially, based on how I should evaluate her by how powerful her voice is and how many listeners she has. Hey, I have almost no listeners. Maybe that's why people think I'm a super genius sometimes, or an alien, because I don't think like others and I understand more things. It's probably because as a guy that's a nobody, wow, you're up there. Maybe it's beyond the intelligence that would make you famous. Again, YouTube, I'm going to do a vlog soon where I ask what you're going to do when my views, well, although they're not complete views, go over 20,000. If there's some sort of award you're going to give me or support me in some way, or you're going to want me to do like Jordan B. Peterson and most of the people, is allow ads, thinking that these ads raise money for me to do my activism, which is really steering the future down the wrong road, the majority of the time. It's short-term thinking, not long-term thinking, which requires, again, a good balance of different types of intelligence, a systems thinker, genuine, not the image of sentience and sapience, but really genuine sentience and sapience. Again, guys, there's been a lot of strategies over the last year or two in my vlogs, in how they're organized, in what they say, in what way, at what time. And there's the obvious point that I'm role modeling being poor, not because I don't know how to make money, but again, I don't want to make money for the sake of money and to victimize myself and the rest of the society that I belong to and the future of it at the same time. So I pretty much have no choice at this time of history when money's poisoned everything, including the vlogs of Jordan B. Peterson that allows ads and others that contradict themselves. This is so obvious, this incongruence, right? They're getting money from the bad guys that they criticize, and therefore, supporting the bad guys, making them stronger, and they're losing this battle, right? Because they can't disconnect from the monetary paradigm in ways that I can. And this is something that makes me proud. And it's not poverty where, you're this close to dying. It's poverty at the same time as role modeling, developing human thinking tools to compensate for this poverty in a society where everybody is sick with this monetary paradigm cult. I wonder if today, if using the Queen's money, we can get double the amount of a dollar for a dollar and shop for things that we need. And need is not what most of the things for sale are. They're not things we need. They're things people think they want. And again, that'd be like the true way of knowing that the government is honoring the Queen, right? It'd be about, her money is worth double this time of year. You can save it's like Black Friday or whatever. And except it's even better because she's on the money. And then eventually they'll be petitioning from the business world to shut down, separate the Queen, shut down that day of the year because, the government is kind of making us lose money one day of the year. Anyways, all these arguments, I don't hear them from people that enjoy the money laundering scheme like Jordan B. Peterson and his daughter. And if she wants to, she might not want to. I'm not famous, and I'll never be famous, and I have a fear that at 20,000 views I might become famous, but not very famous because I'll never be that famous because I never will say things that as a majority people want to hear, right? Reality is challenging at this time of the crash of our proto-civilization, and it's the worst because of the specifics of this particular time of our history where we've been allowed to go without parenting as a species, responsible parenting for multiple generations. And now we are doomed with what we have done by raping the earth and what we've created with it, which is pretty much the instruments to finish killing the earth after we've raped it. So it's pretty sad. So the daughter of Jordan B. Peterson, and I haven't memorized her name, but I'll put in the title, is if you don't trust me to help your dad, either in a doctor with a good bedside manner or as somebody that will have a confrontational approach until there's a switch in him and then a more supportive approach, then go with famous people that you both respect, you and your dad, and say, please, can we film vlogs where you are allowed to be confrontational with some of the things my dad says or his ideas or suggestions? Because my dad needs to see himself in the mirror a little bit more and slow down and take a year or two off or something for his own healing and also his own self-evaluation. So if you can find people like that, because I don't think people will ask me because you'll probably want somebody famous to do it so the ads make you more money. But anyways, if you really love your dad, don't date me. And also try to challenge him in a supportive way and find other people who will do it that you both respect, okay?